Okie doke. Hello to everybody who might be filtering in. We're just going to wait a few minutes to let everyone who comes in give themselves a chance to introduce themselves. If you want in the chat, you can put your first name, the city that you're logging in from, and the certificate area that you're most interested in today, which we'll be covering three today. That's project management, Salesforce administration, and digital marketing. Just make sure as you're chatting that you select the option to chat to everyone if you see that, or some of you might have the option of chatting to all panelists and attendees. Either one of those, we just want to make sure that everybody can kind of see the other folks that are in the webinar. So again, we'll take a few minutes and feel free to just introduce yourself while we wait for others to filter in. All right, I see some introductions coming in. That's awesome. Brooklyn, New York, well represented. Maryland, we have an East Coast family already. Lisa coming from the Bronx. I used to teach in the Bronx. That's awesome, Lisa. Glad to see all of you. Maybe we'll get some folks, probably most of them will be from the East Coast, I would assume, considering this is an NYU webinar, but we'll just wait another minute or two. And if you haven't already, feel free to put your first name in the chat, the city that you're logging in from, and the certificate area that you're most interested in learning more about today. Okie doke. Well, in the interest of respecting everyone's time, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you, everybody, for attending today. First and foremost, our digital skills certificates presentation. This is PathStream in partnership with NYU. And so we're super excited to tell you more about these programs. We're excited to hear what your questions are so we can make sure that you're getting all the information that you need to make an intelligent choice here. And yeah, we're just going to kind of kick things off and get going. So what will we discuss today? Well, first we'll do some kind of brief introductions so you know who exactly it is that you're hearing from. You'll learn more about what PathStream is, what we're about, what our values are. And then we'll kind of dive into these different certificates that we're going to be covering today, just to give you an overview of what to expect with them, or if you're particularly interested in one over the other, you'll get a chance to get more details and again, make an intelligent choice. Finally, you'll get to see the PathStream platform in a little bit more detail. We'll give you a demo, and then we'll also do some live Q&A. So you'll notice that some of you have been putting your introductions in the chat, which has been lovely to see all the folks that are here today. And you'll notice that there's a Q&A button right next to that chat button. So if at any point during this presentation you have a question, just go ahead and pop it in that Q&A. I always like to say, and keep in mind, I'm a former teacher, and so you might not be surprised to hear this, but there are no dumb questions. There are no bad questions. Any question that you might have is a question that someone else might be curious about. So by all means, if something pops in your head, just put it in that Q&A and we'll be able to store all the questions there. And then at the end, we'll do a live Q&A, like we'll answer them for you. So again, just go ahead and put those questions whenever they pop into your head in the Q&A, and we'll get to them towards the end. But now let's kind of kick things off with introductions as promised. So let's just, here we go. I want to pass it over to Alexis first and foremost so she can introduce herself in her own words.
Hello, sorry, I was notoriously on mute. My son likes to say, "You're on mute." It's like the new joke, pandemic joke. But yeah, hi, my name is Alexis Seeley, and I run all of the professional education programs at NYU. We are in the process of developing something called the Collaborative Learning Institute, and what we're looking to do is engage people at all spots on their learning journey, whether that's fresh out of high school, looking for kind of skills-based learning, or people that are kind of ready to enter into the C-suite areas. And so we're offering executive education there. So I've been working as a curriculum designer and program designer for about 20 years now. And I love kind of thinking about technology and how it can enhance learning experiences. And I'm really excited to be here today and tell you about the program. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Alexis. It's awesome to hear a little bit about your background and all the work that you all are doing at NYU. It's really special stuff. So thank you. My name is Anthony Jones, so I will also be with you on this webinar journey today. I work over at PathStream. So I work primarily on the Salesforce certificate. I've also worked on the Asana certificate. And so I will be telling you a little bit more about those certs in just a few minutes here. Before I came over to PathStream, I was a teacher for many, many years, over a decade. And so I love working with students. I love fielding student questions. That's why you'll probably hear me say a million times during this presentation, like, put a question in the Q&A, because answering student questions is a lot of fun for me. So yeah, looking forward to talk to you all more about these programs. And yeah, just sort of share what PathStream is about and why it might be a good fit for you all. And we also on this call will have Nina Sloat. Nina, do you want to just kind of take a second to introduce yourself as well?
Sure, thanks, Anthony. Hi, everyone. I, like Anthony, helped to develop the Salesforce certificate. I collaborated with subject matter experts in various industries within marketing to develop the marketing certificate. So really excited to share more about that with you later. And I also come from a teaching background and then got interested in marketing during grad school. So I'm excited to merge those interests and share it with you.
Thanks, Nina. So we want to just sort of kick things off to tell you a little bit more about what PathStream is, right? This maybe is not a name that you've heard before, and so I'm sure you'll want to learn more about kind of who we are, what we do, what our programs look like. But before we jump into that, we just wanted to pass it back to Alexis to kind of, for her to explain, why did NYU partner with PathStream in the first place?
As I said, I've been developing curriculum and programs that kind of look at enhancing curriculum with technology for a very long time. And, you know, there are a lot of different partner programs and things that we can do and different focuses of program development. And we thought that the PathStream program and the PathStream different courses were really, really well designed and developed and thoughtfully curated. And after kind of reviewing all of the curriculum and thinking about ways in which we can offer our community more skill workforce related skill set was a kind of a no-brainer for us. You know, some people, whether you have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or none of the above, you know, we were really kind of keen on kind of figuring out the best way to offer these programs to people in the New York City area, and thought that PathStream was a great choice. So you know, we've run several classes with them so far with you all, and the learning that happens and the way that it happens is really great. And then, one of the things that I think is really great that you get from the classes is that the people that are teaching these classes are NYU faculty or adjuncts and instructors. And it's really, you're getting some of the best people in these fields working in the environment and in the field, and you're getting mentorship from them kind of on their people that are working in the industry as well as instructors. And it's just really, I think, a really kind of great package that we put together. So yeah, that's why we partner with PathStream. And if you have any questions along the way, put them in the Q&A box.
Yeah, thanks for that. And I definitely want to just double underline the NYU instructors are excellent. And so yeah, being able to kind of partner with them and have them be delivering, a lot of the curriculum, it's a dream come true for us. And so just to kind of lay the groundwork of what PathStream is and why we do what we do. Just want to be clear, and I would imagine many of you who are attending already know this, but demand for digital skills is growing across all types of industries and job functions. So at PathStream, the curriculum that we develop and the programs that we have are all about getting students jobs with digital skills, because these jobs are just growing at really an astronomical rate. Especially, I mean, they were growing at this rate pre-pandemic, but now even post-pandemic, the knowledge economy jobs are just going through the roof. So we are going to talk about 3 of our programs primarily today that really will prepare you with digital skills for 3 different career trajectories, depending on what you're most interested in. That first one is one that Nina mentioned, the Facebook Digital Marketing Certificate. And then the second 2 I will be talking more about, which is the Salesforce Administrator Career Certificate and the Asana Project Management Certificate. So we just want to again stress that when you learn with PathStream, it's not just knowledge for the sake of knowledge. Rather, it's what we call tool-based learning, where you're actually working with the softwares, the tools that will give you the digital skills so that you'll be job ready by the time you complete a program. So a lot of our activities and our projects involve working hands-on with those softwares in labs, in real world scenarios, and then giving you that personalized feedback from the NYU instructors as if you were already on the job, right? It's not just learning for learning's sake, but it's on the job training to get ready to be doing these jobs after you finish one of our certificates. So again, you're going to hear this over and over again, but it really is important to us because we measure success with whether or not you're actually able to get a job after you complete a certificate. So we pride ourselves on having our students be job ready after they finish 3 courses. Again, it's something where not only do you get this training, but you also get a really awesome certificate that has the NYU branding on it, which we think looks really great. And then we also provide career services at no additional cost, which involves kind of helping students and coaching them and getting them ready for this whole job search process after they finish the curriculum in the 3-course program. So just to kind of double click on these career services, because it's something that we know that our students they really love and they appreciate. But throughout the course, you'll notice that we'll be starting to kind of start the communication, start the conversation with you by sharing different job opportunities that are out there. But once you get to that 3rd and final course, this is when the career services really kick in. So as part of the career services, we'll do a resume review. We'll make sure that your LinkedIn profile is looking in really good shape. And we'll schedule a career coaching call with you with your unique career coach. That career coach will share tons of resources with you, will help you learn the best ways of networking. We'll show you the job boards that we find have the most success. We'll give you referrals to our hiring partners, and we can even do mock interviews with you to make sure that you have all your interview prep and any other supplementary content that you might need for your job search. Again, everyone's different. and everyone kind of comes with their own unique skill set even before they start one of our programs. And so as a result of that, we really like to tailor the career coaching to each individual, because every individual story is going to be different. So there's no cookie cutter here like, oh, do these 3 things and you'll be ready. It's more like, no, get to know your coach. Let's see what skills you're already bringing to the table, and let's see how we can tell a great story about what you learned in the program and how that's going to make you an awesome candidate for whatever job you really want to get. A little bit more about the program itself. So it is 3 courses. That's 18 weeks total. And so it's a bit of a commitment, but it's a lot faster than, other programs that you might have seen. It's flexibly paced. And so what that means is you can log into the content as you need to. There are no live lectures that you have to make sure that you're listening to at any particular time. Like, we all get it. You're all adults with jobs and maybe family responsibilities. And so this is designed to be as flexible as it possibly can be, but you do have that instructor support at the same time, right? So it's sort of the best of both worlds in our opinion. And once again, when you finish, you will earn a certificate that you can share on LinkedIn. Like, that's one of our favorite things when our graduates kind of put those badges on LinkedIn, because it's just, I don't know, it just looks really cool. And it's a great thing, especially when you start your job search, to have on your profile. So these are just some testimonials. If you're curious, I won't read any of them, but I'll just sort of leave these on screen. You can kind of see other students who have been through our programs, what they've enjoyed, what they've liked. We do tend to hear that, since a lot of our students, are balancing things like work and family responsibilities, the fact that, folks can log in at nights if they need to, or on the weekends, and do the majority of their work has been really great for them. But everyone's different. So I'll just give you a second to look at some of those testimonials to see what you think. All right, we'll keep it moving. Hope you had a chance to read some of those. So now we're going to talk a little bit more in depth around the different certificates, and we'll kick things off with the Salesforce Administrator Career Certificate. So any folks out there who are interested in Salesforce, this is going to be very, very interesting and important information for you. And I know a lot about this certificate because I've developed a lot of the curriculum on it, and I've worked with lots of subject matter experts to make sure that it's top notch. So happy also to answer any questions you might have about this particular cert at the end when we do our live Q&A. So just to give you an overview, Salesforce is by far the most popular customer relationship management platform that's out there on the market right now. A lot of times I think people are very well aware of the branding of Salesforce, but you might not know what it is quite yet. And so if I just had to put it super simply, Salesforce is a database. So it's a place where businesses can put all of their sales data and a lot of other different types of data, but I'll just focus on sales to keep it simple right now, and then use that data to more effectively reach their customers, whoever they might be. So lots of different businesses in lots of different industries use Salesforce because it helps them organize their data and more effectively sell to prospective customers, and also manage their relationships with their current customers. We built this program in collaboration with Trailhead, which, if any folks out there are interested in Salesforce, maybe you've already seen Trailhead or poked around in there. Trailhead is Salesforce's official learning platform. And so they're a super powerful partner for us. And we're really happy that they kind of worked with us and collaborated on this certificate. Okie doke. So just to be clear, the tools that you will be using in this certificate include the Salesforce Sales Cloud. We also work with the Salesforce Service Cloud at times, and Google Sheets. You don't have to have any background knowledge of Salesforce or Google Sheets, but what we like to tell students is that you need to feel comfortable using these things on the internet. You need to feel comfortable making new accounts, and you need to feel comfortable diving into something like Google Docs. And if you don't feel comfortable with those things on the internet, this probably isn't the best program for you. But as long as you feel comfortable opening new accounts and diving into new programs like this on the web, we kind of assume that everybody is starting from a beginner state. And so you don't need to have any previous knowledge of any of this. We'll kind of take you from zero to administrator in this cert. So just to kind of cover like what the 3 courses look like at a really high level. The first course is, again, it's designed for folks who have never worked with Salesforce before, to just give them kind of the foundations and the basics of what Salesforce is, what the sales process looks like, and what it would mean to use all the different, or I would say a lot of the different functions of Salesforce as a, we call it a quote unquote end user. Another way to think about it is like a sales representative or somebody who's just working on a sales team. And that's course 1. Course 1 gives you a really nice foundation to jump into the more complex courses, which are 2 and 3. In courses 2 and 3, we really dive into what it means to be a Salesforce administrator. And so a Salesforce administrator is the person who is configuring the software for everyone else in a company or everyone else on their team and making it fit so that it meets their needs in the best possible way. So by the end, we really feel like students will be prepared to take the official Salesforce Administrator Certificate exam, which is the official certification that you get from Salesforce. And again, it's a really great thing to have on your resume once you pass that test, but that's after you would finish course 3. So this certificate gets folks ready for a number of different jobs, one of which obviously is that Salesforce administrator. But also if you find, as you go through the course that, oh, maybe Salesforce administrator isn't quite the function that I'm looking for, there are also a lot of different jobs like sales representative, sales operations specialist is another role that we've seen students have a lot of success with. Sales support specialist is another one. So keep in mind that there are lots of different roles and functions that once you have that Salesforce background, you'll definitely be competitive for on the job market. You might be a little bit more curious about what a Salesforce admin is. Again, you can think of the Salesforce admin as the person who is configuring the settings and customizing Salesforce so that it best fits the needs of an organization or a team. Once you dive into Salesforce, what you'll see is like it is a massive software that has a lot of power and a lot of potential, but sometimes it needs to be configured because every team is going to have different needs for Salesforce, right? Every company is going to have different needs too. So you could imagine a small nonprofit, what they're going to need from Salesforce is going to be quite different than a large for-profit corporation. So if you're an admin, you can kind of dive into the back end of Salesforce and configure it to meet the organization's needs that you're working for. But for anyone who really loves like software, who loves solving problems, it loves like unlocking like the potential of a program to best meet the needs of a team, this might be a role that you're kind of curious about and maybe would thrive in. Like I said, Salesforce administrators are needed in nearly all industries and functions because Salesforce itself is becoming really the industry standard for this type of work throughout different companies. If you just want to put things in perspective, Salesforce really sees its biggest competitor as Microsoft. And you can imagine how many companies and industries use Microsoft right now. It's like most of them. Salesforce is thinking of itself on that level. And so whether it's healthcare, retail, education, marketing, somewhere in the public sector, nonprofits, like Salesforce is trying to penetrate that industry. So the jobs are going up and up and up. Here's some of the data that really backs that up, but you can see that there are millions of jobs being posted and the growth, we're seeing tremendous growth. And this is a big reason why we even built this program in the first place, is because over the next 5 years, we think that this is going to increase even more than what the data is showing right now. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Asana Project Management Certificate. So we're transitioning from Salesforce to Asana Project Management. And for folks out there, let's see here. Yep. For folks out there who might not know, Asana is one of the fastest growing project management softwares that's on the market today. Asana is the screenshots that you can see there. That's what Asana is, but it's a really cool way to organize like different project management functions that in the past people just had to use on spreadsheets for. So, but not only do we prepare you to use the Asana software in this program, we also just prepare you with a really sound methodology for project management in general. So we have some students who come to us and they maybe like Asana, but they really want to focus more just like on project management in general. This certificate will do that as well. So regardless of what project management software a company uses, you'll have a methodology that you can apply to it by taking this certificate. Just want to, again, kind of break it down course by course. You'll see that in course 1, we really provide you with, again, the foundations of project management. We use, it's worth noting, we use the CAPA methodology, which is another official certification that you can get in project management. So if that's something that you're interested in, we will prepare you for the CAPA exam. And in course 1, we'll just lay the groundwork, again, taking somebody from a complete beginner, giving them foundations in project management to then kind of take them in course 2 to real world situations where they'll have to do project planning. And so you'll use Asana to create project schedule. You'll use Google Sheets to create a project budget. You'll have to develop a communication plan and develop your kickoff activities. And then once you get to course 3, we'll start to deal with like situational complex stuff like risk management, quality management, integration management, which means putting a plan all together from the budget to the scope, to the schedule, to the risk, to the quality. If you really want to get, I mean, just think about the level of detail that you might need if you were managing a project for NASA. And that's kind of where we take you by the end because, again, like the CAPA methodology, it was originally, fun fact, developed for project managers who work for NASA. So it can get quite complex, but we start out simple, we build up, and then by course 3, you should be good not only to manage any project that you might see, but use Asana effectively and be ready for that CAPA exam. So the career outlook, unsurprisingly, most of the jobs that you'll be competitive for after this include project manager. We also see a lot of jobs with the title of project coordinator. And, even for folks out there who are, not looking to get a brand new job, what project management skills might allow you to do would be to pursue a promotion. So if that's something that you're interested in, we definitely see a lot of students who they like their current job, but they just want to flex. They want to kind of expand their roles and responsibilities in their current role. And so a project management certificate can be quite good for that as well. The data, again, project management jobs are another one that are just growing really, really fast. And so there are tons of jobs out there. There's no shortage. If you are someone who you're naturally very organized, you're able to break down complex problems into kind of like the step-by-step solution. You're that person who's maybe when you're with a group of friends, you're the one who always just naturally takes on the responsibilities of booking the Airbnb and making sure that everybody shows up on time and like squaring up the finances at the end of the trip. If you're that person, you're probably a natural project manager. So those are just some fun facts about it. And if that's something that you're curious about, definitely we can talk more about that at the end if you had any specific questions. But I want to pass it over to Nina to talk a little bit more about that Facebook digital marketing certificate.
Thanks, Anthony. Excited to share with you similarly just how we developed these courses and also a little bit about what you'll find in them. Myself and other learning designers partnered with subject matter experts from Facebook and also across different industries. And we asked them, what does an entry-level digital marketer need to know to be successful in their job? What tools and what skills? So we really use that to drive the creation of these courses and choose, Google Analytics, Facebook Ads Manager as tools, and then all of the concepts that you'll find in the course is all driven to land you that job after the certificate. Some of the tools that you'll be using are Google Analytics. So you'll use that to learn how to hone in on your target audience using data. You'll perform some marketing analytics by looking at data from a marketing campaign and be able to say, was this successful or not? What can we do to make it more successful? You'll also work in Google Slides to create a compelling marketing campaign to learn how to, pitch an idea really compellingly. So a few of the example learning outcomes or things that you can expect to walk away from each course with. The first course is a foundational course. We assume no background knowledge of business or marketing, though if you do have that, I guarantee that there's still more to add to your knowledge bank. So we'll go over concepts like unique value propositions and customer journeys, things that will serve you in any marketing role in that first course. You'll also walk away having created a marketing campaign for a company of your choice. Those are really fun projects for me to see because folks work on, companies that maybe their family runs or that they really care about. So it's a fun one where you're gonna get to flex both your analytical and creative muscles. The second course is all about answering the questions, how did my campaign perform and what can I do to make it better or optimize it? So that's where you'll dive into Google Sheets and learn about A/B testing or seeing what you can tweak to make your campaign a little bit better. And then the third course, I think any digital marketer nowadays needs to have social media marketing in their toolbox. So this is where you'll dive into Facebook ads, you'll create ads, learn about visual and copy best practices, and then look at ad reports to see how those did. As a career outlook, we see students land jobs with titles like digital marketing coordinator or marketing specialist, so more entry-level jobs into the digital marketing field. We've also seen folks who just want to add digital marketing to their current job. I think one of the most fun student sets I think to work with is folks who have started their own company or are planning to start their own company. So this is a way for them to really build that skill set as they're pursuing that dream. Or folks have pursued promotion. So maybe they're already in marketing, but they want to add, for example, social media to their toolbox. So the data around digital marketing shows that about 300,000 job postings have shown up in the last 12 months. So there's definitely options out there. And we've seen a 20% growth in jobs requiring digital marketing skills. So that could be, jobs with the title marketing specialist or ones that just require some digital marketing with them. We also see that half of all marketing expenditure goes to digital marketing. So definitely if you're getting into marketing, you need that digital piece with it.
Thank you, Nina. Now we just want to kind of take a few minutes to show you what the PathStream platform actually looks like. So bear with me as I kind of bring that up. So hopefully you can see my screen, but this is the PathStream platform. And so you can see that this is the first course in the Asana Project Management Certificate, called Foundations of Project Management. And every course has sections that you will kind of go through in chronological order. As you click the different modules in each section, you'll see that these lessons kind of pop up. And next to the lesson is like a little bit of a time, what we think is like kind of an average amount of time. Every student's a little bit different, but on average, you can spend about this much time on a particular lesson, which we find really helps students schedule how much time they're going to spend in the course kind of per week. So if we kind of go over here, and right now I'm going to go to section 3, which is projects and tools. I'm going to go down to the module that's called Introduction to Asana. And I'm going to click on Asana organization and project types. A little fun fact, whenever you see this little beaker icon, that means there's a lab in that lesson. And a lab is a hands-on opportunity to actually work with the software in kind of a real world, scenario, but we'll get there in just a second. So if I click on this, you'll see that it opens up this lesson. And as you'll notice, there are no lectures here, right? So like this information doesn't change over time. You can click on it morning, noon, or night, kind of Monday through Sunday, and like it'll look the same. And so as you go through, you'll see that there is different text to look at. There are screenshots with graphics that illustrate the points that are being covered. In this case, it's kind of a background information on what the Asana software interface looks like and how to use it. You'll notice that there are different graphics here with key terms, and then throughout we have little knowledge checks. And so once you're ready to kind of take on a knowledge check, or after you've reviewed all that information, you'll start. And this isn't graded, by the way. It's just sort of a low stakes way to practice what you've learned. Let's see. Oh man, lots of pressure on me. Let's see if I can get it right. Projects. See if did I get it? Oh, thank goodness. Sometimes I get that one wrong. It's kind of embarrassing, but this time I got it right. So you see here, you got it. And there's an explanation, around why it was correct. But let's see, let's just try to get one wrong on purpose. And you'll see, okay, I got it incorrect. You can try again, or you can click show answer, and then you'll see what the correct answer is. So again, there's no punishment here. There's no grade. It's just designed to help you learn. And so as you go through, you'll notice there are also little video clips that we like to include. And then we include a recap of what the video was trying to cover, just so if you don't have time to watch it, you can just kind of get the main points there. There's another knowledge check too, where in this case, you would type in an answer. I'll just type something just to give you a sense. You will get an explanation as what the right answer was. And then I'm going to kind of speed up a little bit because I want to show you what the lab looks like. And so once you get here, this is going to be your opportunity now to sort of apply what you've learned in a hands-on environment. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click launch lab, and then that's going to launch our app on my computer. So I'm going to have to figure out how to switch my share, but I'll be able to do that, I think. So let me go ahead once this loads up, and I will switch so that you can see what I'm seeing with this lab. All right, let's click here. All right, okie doke. Hopefully y'all can see this, which I'm gonna click launch lab. And once I launch the lab, you'll notice that the Asana software is loading here. And so this is really great because this is all within the PathStream platform, so you can kind of use the software kind of at your own speed. You'll notice that there's on the left-hand side that there are instructions on how to use like the different things in Asana. And so this is great because it will sort of guide you through this whole process while this loads. It's just Asana. My computer's running a little bit slow today, so sorry for that, but we'll give it a second. If it doesn't, I can refresh it. But what you'll see while we wait for this to load is that the different instructions are kind of listed in these drop downs. And so you'll notice that this really walks you through how to do everything that you need to do within the Asana workspace, which is kind of up and loaded right now. So this is Asana. Everyone who does the project management cert has their own account, and then you're able to work with it, follow the instructions to be finishing project management tasks in the actual software itself. So just kind of a cool way to work with the software to practice these skills hands-on, and I hope it gives you a sense about the platform itself. Okie doke. Let's see here. Go back to sharing here and present here so that we can get back to the presentation. And now we want to have some time for Q&A. So if you have any questions at all or anything that you've been curious about, now's a great time to pop those questions in the Q&A. What I will also do is I will put some common FAQs up here on screen, just because I know lots of students are curious about things like the cost and payment plans and stuff like that. So I'll put these up here, but if there are any questions that you want that aren't on these FAQs, take a second, put your question in the Q&A, and we'll be happy to answer them. And once again, the old teacher in me is coming out, but don't be shy. If you have any questions at all, I assure you someone else is curious about it too. So anything that you might have, just feel free to pop in that Q&A. I see some questions coming in the chat. That's all right. I can take those too. So when is the next class starting? Great question. I believe we have this on the next slide. So the next certificate starts September 28th. So I will come back to this slide and well, I'll leave it up here because this is important information. And if anyone needs those FAQs to pop back up, just let me know and I can toggle back and forth between the slides. But the next certificates start on September 28th. So if you're interested at all, there's that email address down there where you can reach out to, but that is a great question. What is the difference between the PMP and the, it's the CA, the CP, sorry, I'm getting a little tongue-tied with the alphabet here. It's the CAPM exam. The difference is the PMP is just a little bit more complicated. So typically what people will do who are interested in project management is they'll take that CAPM exam first, and then the next logical exam to take is the PMP. So we prepare students for that foundational CAPM exam. And then after that, if PMP certification is something that you're interested in exploring, you'll be like in really good position to do so, but it will require a little bit of additional study because it's a more complex exam. But good question. By all means, please don't hesitate. Oh, seeing stuff in the chat. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Like I said, I'm an old teacher. Nina's an old teacher too. So we love getting those questions. Answering student questions is a lot of fun for us. We'll just wait a few more minutes for folks out there who have questions. Again, sometimes it's hard to like think of the question on the spot that you might have, and it might come to you later. So by all means, you can use that email address at the bottom, NYU_certificates@pathstream.com, to ask any other questions that you have if something happens to occur to you after the presentation as well. I will flip back just briefly. Oh, can you just recap the 3 classes in the Asana search? Sure thing. So the first course, again, is like, we call it the foundations course, and that was the platform demo that I was doing. The idea with the foundations course is to just sort of establish what you'll notice if you're interested in project management is there's a whole vocabulary around project management that to an outsider, they might not have any idea what the words mean. But once you kind of get a grip on these different terms that project management insiders use, you'll realize that they're not that complicated at all. You just kind of have to get comfortable with what they are and what they mean. And so foundations will not only do that, but it'll also kind of it'll also sort of put you doing the basics of what a project manager does, as far as like getting a scope statement in place, like getting the outline of a project plan, working with different stakeholders to make sure that everybody's aligned. And then once you get to the second course, you'll actually start to kind of double click on all these things. So you'll start to put together like a more detailed schedule. You'll start to put together a more detailed communications plan. You'll start to put together these more like detailed components of what overall is considered the project management plan. And then once you get to the third course, that's when you really get into more like complex situations like risk management. So if you're working on, projects like, let's see, like if you're working in an industry where there are considerable risks, for example, like maybe a construction project, you have to put together a risk plan because inevitably there are things that happen that might threaten the progress of your project. And so risk management is this whole other like subcategory within project management that's really important. Same is true for quality assurance or quality management, to make sure that whatever your deliverables are actually coming out in a way that's like consistently like reaching the quality levels that are set. So that's the basic flow. I hope that kind of answers your question. I see another one in the Q&A. Can you elaborate more on career coaching and the duration of it? Does any of the career coaching extend beyond the weeks of the program? Nina, I see you already typing an answer. Do you want to answer it live?
Sure. I was going to type that career coaching usually starts at the end of the certificate so that you have time to really focus on your, the content learning first. And then, yes, for sure, it does extend beyond the weeks of the program, and all the services that Anthony mentioned, resume review, mock interviews. We understand that would be a little too much to do the certificate and career coaching at the same time. So that happens after the after their certificate is over.
Yeah, and again, I think the thing that I always tell students is that, everyone's different. So everyone's career coaching is going to look different because everyone's going to have different needs when it comes to their job search and what they need help with and how they need to interact with their coach. And so we don't put any one size fits all model on it, because sometimes we might be coaching a student for a couple months, after their program ends, and that's totally okay. The job search it's one of those things that's like really individual, and everybody's different, and it can be a super emotional process too. And so yeah, we don't put any like hard limits on it, like, oh, we're only going to coach you for 2 weeks after the program ends. And we just don't think that that's very effective. And again, like, our ultimate goal is it's for you to get a job. It's for you to get the job that you want. So part of that obviously is completing the program and being successful with the curriculum, but a big part of that is the job search process, and that's, super important to us. So yeah, we are flexible with the career coaching because that's what we find works the best. Good deal. So we can wait. We do have a few more minutes. So I'll just wait one more minute or so, just in case anyone has, any additional questions. I'll put this slide back up for a second, these FAQs, because I know that this is really important information. So I can kind of talk through these a little bit too. The total cost of the program is $24.99, as you can see. If you pay in full, you will get a $100 discount, but you also can pay using an installment plan that's at 0% interest. And so you don't get the discount, but you're not incurring any extra charges. It's, if some people like to pay with that payment plan, and that's totally fine with us. Some employers have continuing education reimbursement plans. And so that's always something that's worth checking out with your HR department if you're currently employed. Go ahead, it's worth asking about, because you might be able to get some of this cost covered, maybe all of it in some cases. Once again, our programs are designed for full-time working or studying adults with a lot of different things that they might be juggling, so they are flexible, but you should expect to commit 10 to 15 hours per week throughout the certificate. This isn't like some online learning courses might say, oh yeah, you need 10 to 15 hours per week, and then it winds up being like an hour per week. Like, that's not the case with PathStream. Like, it's definitely 10 to 15 hours. It might even be more than 15 hours for some people. So if you don't feel like you have that ability to commit that amount of time per week, it probably isn't a good idea to jump in, because we want everyone to be successful who's signing up. So make sure, if you're strongly considering a program like that, you do have that time that you can commit, because we really do find that students who can are the most successful. The prerequisites, again, like, there are none really. We do encourage you to have at least your high school degree or GED equivalent, but you don't need any experience with the tools that we're teaching. So Asana, Salesforce, Facebook digital marketing will take you from total beginner to where you need to go, as long as you have that comfort, with the internet and the basic kind of tech literacy, using a laptop, using a computer to navigate this stuff. And that's not everyone has that tech literacy, and that's okay. But for the folks who don't, this isn't a great program for you. So we just like to be upfront about that. And here's one thing that I will add, because I know this question comes up sometimes. You cannot, you can't, I'm triple underlining can't, you can't use a Chromebook for this stuff. So if you were hoping to use a Chromebook, it's something that's not going to pair well with our platform. You do kind of need just a desktop computer, or like a Windows or an Apple Mac, though that's going to be your best case situation there. But if you have any more questions about the technology stuff, you can use this email address that's here, NYU_certificates@pathstream.com. And once again, the next certificates, they start September 28th. So if you're interested, that's coming up real soon. So we look forward to welcoming you to the PathStream family. I'm not seeing any more questions come in, so I just wanted to say thank you again to our other presenters. So Nina, Alexis, thank you so much for sharing. Any final words that y'all wanted to share?
I'd just like to thank everyone again for showing up, and want to make sure I'm able to kind of give any of the support. And like if you end up signing up for any of these programs, I'll be with you throughout the duration of those, and welcoming you to the NYU community. So have a nice evening. Thanks.
And that's a great segue, because Tamara, wants to know, why should I enroll in your program as opposed to another project management program? And I think Alexis really just answered it for us, because you're going to have someone at NYU who's going to be helping you along the way, including an instructor who's going to be focused. And I would say it's that support is really the top selling point, quote unquote, if you want to call it that, for us. So Tamara, I would say it's that I would recommend our program, say, over another project management program where you're just not going to have that support there, and you're kind of be all by yourself. Like, no one wants to be learning in a vacuum all by themselves. And so I would just say the support is what makes it unique. Nina, any final words from you?
Yeah, I would just add to that, support and the career services, I think, can make all the difference for folks as they're navigating a new career space. But thanks everyone for being here, and hope to see you in our courses soon.
Thank you. All right. Bye, everyone.